Welcome back to Barn Built Beaters. It's another day, but I'm actually taking a break. I was doing some of the wall wiring, the electrical outlets, but we just got all of this stuff in, and as you can see, I've already installed one package just to see how far it went and how well it installed. Well, here we are. We're going to be installing the insulation on this wall to start with, but there's a few spots where we can't install the insulation. For example, this high voltage line that we ran, it's going to go through the wall. And like I said, I'm just taking a break from electrical right now because I'm really excited to install some of this, see how it affects the sound quality of the videos. And honestly, I really just need a break from the electrical. It's fun, but I'm kind of sick of it. I've done, I think it's like almost 1,000 feet of wiring in here, which is crazy to think of. Just think of like your house, for example. But anyways, every other place should be able to get insulation. We'll just have to skip that spot for now.
I bought Rockwool R23 to insulate the walls with. I chose Rockwool because for a slight upcharge, you received a better per inch insulation value compared to fiberglass, yet kept costs lower than spray foam. These Rockwool bats install quite nicely. Simply press them between the studs and the friction fit will keep them in place. If cutting is needed, cut with a utility knife or rip a chunk out if you're going around the junction box. My recommendation is to wear a mask while installing these bats. After a short while without wearing one, I could feel my breathing lightly affected. I typically wore a mask after this unless quickly touching something up. Safety glasses are always recommended, but in my opinion, not needed. However, if you are installing these bats, you should make that determination as your application may be different.
So it's getting late. I did most of the wall right now for where I can go. I have 2 more spots over on there, but I just don't feel like opening up another package. But I figured out your framing spacing has to be pretty on point. If it's a little bit bigger than 16 inches on center, it doesn't like to stay. So this last one I put in, you can see it's starting to bulge out right here. And that's just because it's a little too wide and that friction fit isn't quite there. So I'm sure I'll come back out in the morning and it'll be not in place. So that's great. But anyways, once the drywall's up, no one really cares. Like I said here, the wiring has to be finished up. Here, I just need to fill this in so mice and critters can't get in. And then, like I said, I just didn't want to open up another package and finish it. But with the insulation in, it's actually starting to look kind of like buildings. Just got back from Nashville and look at all the materials we have now. We got our ceiling insulation and our wall insulation over here, and then behind all of this is a whole bunch of drywall to drywall this whole building. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to just keep plugging away. I have a little bit of electrical work, but I think I'm just going to keep plugging away at the wall insulation and or maybe the ceiling. I'm not really sure. I don't have a plan. Since we're working on the ceiling now, this wall insulation is going to get put on hold until some of this at least gets cleared out. I'm hoping that friction fit will keep it hung up there. If it doesn't, we'll have to kind of play around with a couple things, maybe hang a piece of drywall, then lay the insulation. Not really sure how I want to do it yet or how it'll work, but we'll figure it out shortly. I got something in the mail today, and it's for this project, obviously. It's in this box, so let's unbox it and I can show you what it is. It's a box within a box, the world's oldest joke. Ooh, that is not the color I thought it was. That's interesting. So, this should give you a hint, especially because there's two of them. I'm holding it in the right orientation. It's a drywall lift. So we'll be able to do the ceiling nice and easy. I thought I might be able to do it by myself without the lift. And then I quickly realized when I had to move it from my garage over into this barn that that was not doable. So I coughed up a couple $100 and bought this. Let's install this, and as we go, we can start slamming them up there and start actually seeing what it's gonna look like. Ta-da! We're ready to rock and roll. I have some insulation up in the ceiling. I measured some things out. This space that's closest to the wall is not 24 inches on center. So I'm going to skip that and start on this first rafter that you can see, and it should line up with this rafter so I can go all the way down and I'm not making nailers. Then once I'm all done with that, I'll come back here and put this little tiny strip in. And there's also another one on the other side of the barn. So I have pretty much 4x8 worth of insulation here. I'm gonna hang the drywall, and then we'll cut out a light and see how it looks. This is where we stand. We have 3 sheets up. They're not perfectly aligned, which makes me think that wall is ever so slightly off a little bit, but that's not a big deal. We'll just keep cutting it to size when we get to the edge, the other side of the wall.
Since these temporary lights are in the way, they had to be removed. Once removed, you can see me install some of the insulation. This is just held up by a friction fit. The spots where the framing wasn't ideal, that friction fit didn't hold the insulation up in place. To get around this, I simply screwed in a couple screws and left about 1 inch sticking out. The excess screw holds the insulation up in place and allows me to come back with drywall. Now onto installing a sheet of drywall. I highly recommend 2 people, as there is a lot of readjustment, which leads to a lot of climbing up and down of the ladder. Once I am happy with the placement, I sink a screw into the corner, but don't fully drive it in. I then go to the opposing corner, make any minor adjustments, sink a screw completely, and then the sheet can be fully fastened into place.
It's getting a little dark in here to keep working, so we have to install some more lights. I set up this laser line over here, which marks out the row of lights. I'll go up there, make a mark, and then drill through it and install the light to light this area up more and continue with the drywall.
To cut out spots for lights, I bought this adjustable hole cutout tool. This is meant to be used with a drill, but unfortunately, I do not own one and use my impact as a substitute. Due to this reason, the tool only worked okay. I bought this to save money, but ultimately ended up buying a drywall cutout tool. This cutout tool worked amazing, and I was able to use it throughout my drywall project in various places, and highly recommend buying it for your projects. One of my favorite sayings is, being cheap is expensive and being expensive is cheap.
Well, there we are. We have almost a full row of lights in, and it's pretty bright in here. So I'm really happy, and I can't wait to keep going across the ceiling with drywall, drilling those holes for the lights, and installing the lights and seeing how much brighter it gets in here. So that makes me really happy, and it kind of makes me think I went a little overkill with lights, but I gotta be too bright.
If you like following along with my project, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and be sure to leave a comment. All the tools shown in this video are listed below in the description, so be sure to check them out.